Hey, my friends, Mike Shreve here, and welcome to another lesson. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about how to actually create attraction mechanisms in your freelancing business and service providing business. And as long as you trade your services for money, this will help you. We are going to teach you how to actually attract people. So it's not tricks, it's not scams, it's not anything like that. It's actually something about the way that you present yourself. It's about positioning. It's about making it easy for people to say yes to you. So one of the things that I see all the time in freelancers all over the world is how difficult they make it for a client to say yes. They think they're making it easy, but honestly, if you are a person who has ever done this, you go out and you say, I'm a writer and I will write you a blog post, or I am a designer and I will design you a logo, or I am a programmer and I will program you a website, then you are making it very difficult for your clients to say yes. And we'll talk a little bit about why that is. But first, I want to introduce you to a guy named Ed Mayer. He was a direct response professional, I think in the 30s and 40s. You'll have to check on that because I'm not totally sure. But he used to write direct response, and he discovered this concept called the 40-40-20 rule. And the rule was that the success of any money-getting campaign, so anytime you're trying to either sell a product or a service, the success of that thing, knowing whether it was going to be successful or not, could be broken down into 40%, 40%, and then a 20% chunk. And we're going to talk about what these are and then how to use it in your business as a service provider. So a lot of people have in their mind that the way you say something and the tricky little headline that you have is the way that you bring a lot of results. And so when they go out and they sell their service and they're trying to sell, let's say, graphic design services or videography services, they try to come up with a cool slogan, and they think that the slogan is what's going to contribute the most to their ability to sell. It turns out that Ed Mayer says that no, that the creative, the copy, what the web page looks like, the design of it is only 20% of a successful sale. It makes up 20% of everything that's involved in order to actually, get someone to pull out their credit card and make a purchase. So as a service provider, keep that in mind. If you're spending 10 hours on writing the perfect little line in your whatever and making your this and that, you are being that much less effective if you were working on any of these other areas. So what did Ed say the other areas are? One is audience. So is the people that you're actually even talking to interested in what you have to sell? Are they other marketers call it the hungry crowd. I think it was Gary Halbert who said, something about wanting to feed hamburgers to hungry people. Basically, it's this idea of, I can't remember the quote now that I'm trying to call it, and this is live. So, okay. It's this idea of it's easier to sell water to people who are thirsty than people who are not thirsty, right? So it's basically that idea. So 40% of your campaign is just dependent on that. Are they even the kind of people who need what you have to offer, that are in a desperate enough situation that your solution is exactly what they need? So that's 40% of what makes up a good, marketing campaign or the sales process. What we're going to be talking about today is the offer. So Ed Mayer says that 40% of why someone buys something is, are they the audience or the offer? Okay, so we'll talk about the audience in some other video and like how to make sure that that's all correct. And we'll talk about the creative, but again, the creative is only 20%. Today, we're going to be talking about the offer. What you are offering to potential clients is a massive determinant as to your ability or likelihood or the odds of you actually closing the client. So let's forget about price. It's not about price, it's about the offer, okay? I'm going to teach you how to make what's called an obscene offer. Again, I didn't come up with this idea. This has been taught by a lot of smarter people than me. I'm just showing you how to use it for your service-based business. This obscene offer is a massive leverage point in your ability to make a sale. So let's talk about it really quick. So the obscene offer is one where it's nearly impossible for the person being exposed to your offer, whether that's on a phone call, whether it's through email, whether it's through reading a sales page, it's nearly impossible for them to say no, because they actually have stuff to lose if they say no. It's an offer that's so powerful that they are compelled to take it. Now, let me tell you what is not an obscene offer. I will write you a blog post. It is so easy, especially if you say, I will write you a blog post for $400. It is so easy to say no to that. There's nothing compelling about that at all. Example, not obscene. I will run your Facebook ads. Facebook ads are huge right now. Everyone's trying to start a Facebook ads business, and I see this over and over again. The guys are like, well, I told 30 businesses that I'll do their Facebook ads for $2,000 a month. Yeah, well, boring. Like, that's not interesting. There's nothing compelling about it. You've made it easy to say no. Here's an obscene offer, okay? If you're a Facebook ads person, maybe you go to a market, an audience of people who are already running Facebook ads. I'll lower your costs, your ad costs by 25% while still increasing your leads, or you pay nothing until I do. This is, look, not everyone watching this video has got the stomach to create an obscene offer. Okay, some of you watching this video are like, oh, you know what, never mind. I'm just going to say I write blog posts and they're just going to have to deal with it. That's fine. That's cool. What I'm telling you is if you want actual attraction marketing where people are coming to you, where you don't have to submit bid proposals, you don't have to go to Upwork, you don't have to, do these like begging for jobs, the way that you do it is to create an obscene offer for your business. Now, the formula for doing this, and we'll talk a little bit more about why this is obscene. The formula for doing this is to simply say, I promise to X or I will Y. So it doesn't have to be this extreme of you don't have to pay anything until I get you these obscene results. The key is this, I promise to X. The key is to take stock of your abilities right now and to find out what's the most powerful promise you can deliver. Now, your most powerful promise as a blog post writer, let's say, for example, is not to write a blog. That's the mechanism. That's the feature of what you do. The benefit of what you do is your promise. I'll write you a blog post that X. I will write you a sales letter that X. I will do social media that will X, okay? So it's just important that when you say, I promise to, you don't get stuck in the feature. You don't get stuck in the, I will program you a website. It's, I will program you a website that, or I will, the key here is to make this painful for you, to motivate yourself to deliver the result. Now, this might sound like self-flagellation and sort of like punishment of the self, but this kind of stuff is attractive to clients, particularly experienced clients. So experienced clients, the ones with the solid, significant businesses that have hired people over and over and over again, have had experiences where people do this to them, I promise to X, and then there's no accountability. And so what happens is they get burned. This is how clients get burned. So when you come onto the marketplace and you're like, look, I'm promising you pretty much the same thing that everybody else is promising you, but I'm willing to take the sacrifice to punish myself if we can't get you the results. Now you come from somebody who's trying to contact the client and take money from them to, hey, Mr. Client, Miss Client, we're on the same team. We're going to help each other out here. Okay. This is powerful stuff, you guys. If you have an audience today, go take one of your offers, whatever it is, and hopefully you have more than one offer because you guys, the most dangerous number in business is one. Hopefully you have more than one offer. Tweak it, send it to your audience, and see what happens. People will freak. They really will. They're going to be like, oh, this is interesting. How do we get started? What's the move? Now, a couple of tips here is make sure that you only promise what you can deliver. This is not a useful tool for people trying to scam clients. If you're just, it has to be a realistic promise. And maybe right now, your promise, your ability to deliver clients isn't that great. Now, that's okay, but I want to make sure and check in with you to make sure that it's not your ability to deliver results, but maybe you just haven't worked with the right clients. And here's what I mean. So it's important that you only promise what you can deliver, but the key to an obscene offer is learning how to say no. And what I mean by that is, I've discovered for myself and the students that I teach over and over again, a freelancer is only as good as the client will allow them to be. So the key to the actually executing on an obscene offer is for you to be incredibly choosy about who gets to take advantage of your promise. Now, some of you are like, well, I'm desperate for a client right now, and I don't understand how I could possibly say no to work that's coming in. And if you're in a financial situation where you're just like, I need money now or I'm going to get kicked out of my house, maybe this doesn't necessarily apply to you. However, if you are trying to build a freelance service-based business, this key here of understanding that a freelancer is only as good as a client allows them to be, and that you need to be choosy about who you let into your obscene offers, because you can only promise what you can deliver, and understanding that this delivery piece is like 60% the responsibility of the client. We'll talk about why. Then you can have confidence in maybe upping your obscenity a little bit in your obscene offer. Like, push it just a little bit. If you sit down and you're trying to write out your obscene offer, and I hope that you do after this training, sit down and make a couple of obscene offers. When you make it, don't write it for your worst client. Don't be like, well, I have this one client, he's a total jerk, here's the best I could do. Write it for your dream client. The guy who gives you the full creative, he's like, I want you to, I'll write you I'll design you a logo that whatever, and if I don't, then whatever. That's your obscene offer. And this dream client that you're writing this for, they have resources, they'll pay you well, they will give you the creative freedom, they'll give you the feedback. Maybe your thing is, I'll create a fully finished logo in 24 hours, or you don't pay. So of course you can only work with clients who are good at communicating, right? So when you create your obscene offers, the idea is to remember that the client is part of your success as a freelancer. Now, I want to take a second to talk about that, because it's so critical, whether you make an obscene offer or not. Freelancers are only as good as the client will allow them to be. Think about a traditional job you've ever had. And you had that boss who you would have good ideas, you'd throw the ideas out there, the ideas would get squashed. Or they would undermine you, or they would backstab you, or they would. You don't walk away from that job like when you go home at night and be like, well, I'm really bad at my job. No, you go home and you complain to your significant other. You're like, this guy, he's keeping me from being my best. I can't progress in this company because whatever. That same principle applies in the world of freelancing, you guys. So the key as a freelancer is to learn how to say no, to use the obscene offer to attract a bunch of people, and then sit there and pick and choose who is going to be the person that allows you to be your best self. Now, we have another training that we talked about the price is power and how much you charge. It helps you to set your ability to, have profit, and the profit allows you to be peace of mind, and peace of mind allows you to serve better, raise your price. And that circle of the price of power, it starts here by being able to have the leverage and power to say no to people. The way you do that is by creating obscene offers. I promise to X, or I will Y. And then we go back one more here real quick. because your offer, I feel like I'm on like I feel like I'm on a weather channel or something, like trying to read the prompter thing at the same time. The offer is 40% of what a successful sale looks like. Okay. I'm telling you right now, most freelancers, they're operating on 60% at best. Most of them don't understand their audience, maybe half of them. So really, most freelancers are trying to make sales based off of 40% out of 100%. I'm saying right now, you follow what I just did, you're going to be rocking at 40%. Even if you only have 20% of your audience kind of dialed in and figured out, you're still going to be rocking at a full 80%, which you're competing against freelancers who are 60% or 40%, doing what they need to do to get a sale. You're going to stick out and stand out in the market straight away. Clients are going to get what you're doing. They're going to have a hard time saying no because your offer is so obscene. They're like, I have to do this. I just have to try. I'm almost curious just to see what happens. And you'll be able to stand out in your market as a service provider. Okay, my friends, I hope that this served you. This was a little bit longer than I was hoping, but again, I hope that it served you. If you want more stuff like this, please comment below. Yes, please. Okay, yes, please is what I'd like you to comment below, and we will send you the anti-commodity formula, which helps to explore more of this 40-40-20 rule. Again, go type below, say yes, please. And you will get that totally free. You don't have to give us your email address or anything like that. Also, if you want to learn more tips and tricks and tactics like this, go to the nopantsproject.com. I've got a workshop that runs every Tuesday. I do it live. We've even done like an hour and a half of questions after the workshop from time to time. nopantsproject.com, and you'll figure out how to, a lot more cool strategies like this for building a successful freelancing business. Particularly, what we talk about in the workshop is a freelancing business that fits around your life instead of trying to fit your life into some other thing, which is just called a job. Anyways, hang out with us on the nopantsproject.com, and we will get you all squared away. So I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful whatever day it is right now. We're probably going to send this video all around the internet, so who knows what day it is by the time you're watching this. But as long as you comment below, yes, please, we'll get you that anti-commodity formula straight away. Thank you.